My mother came here from the other place long ago, before I was born. She came with a man who was my father, and they went walking in those mountains over there to the north.
Really?
Linda, my mother, fell down a steep place and hurt her head.
Go on.
Well, some hunters from Malpais found her and brought her here to the Pueblo.
And what happened to the man? What happened to your father?
She never saw him again. She said his name was Tomakin.
Tomakin? Might it have been Thomas?
Perhaps. But he must have flown away, back to the other place, without her. A bad, unkind, unnatural man.
Oh, he's that all right.
Yes. So, I was born here, in Malpais. Come. Come with me.
Oh, my dear, if you knew how glad, after all these years, a civilized face, so beautiful. Yes, and civilized clothes. I thought I'd never see a piece of real acetate silk again. And those adorable viscose velveteen shorts. I must touch you.
No, please, please
my
don't.
Dear, I've still got all my
Bernard,
old clothes. the
Bernard,
ones
she's
I came in.
disgusting.
Put away
She's
in a
so
box.
fat.
I'll show
Two
you
of her
them.
teeth are missing
The
and those
acetate's all gone into
wrinkles.
holes.
Lena, she's just
Oh,
old.
for God's sake,
My
Bernard, she wanted to
contraceptive
kiss me.
bandolier. Isn't it
She
pretty
smells
and white?
horrible.
Oh, I must
But
say,
she's
your
obviously
green
never had a
Morocco
bath,
is
and she's
even
simply
lovelier.
reeking of that nasty stuff they put into the Delton
But it did me
Epsilon
good,
bottles.
that bandolier.
Too
I
revolting.
suppose
I'm going to be
John's
sick.
told you, has he? What I had to suffer. Not a gram of soma to be had. I was so ashamed. Just think of it. Me, a beater, having a baby. Put yourself in my place.
Bernard, I am going to be sick.
You don't know how it happened. I swear it. But all the same, it happened. And of course that wasn't anything like the abortion centre here. Is it still down in Chelsea, by the way?
Yes, yes.
A lovely pink glass tower. And still floodlit on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
Oh,
Bernard, where are you going?
and the
It's all
river
right.
at night.
John's taken me to
I
see the
remember
village.
flying
Bernard!
back from Stoke Poges to a hot bath and a vibro-vacuum massage. You've no idea how it upsets me, all this dirt. I had an awful cut on my head when they first brought me here. You can't imagine what they used to put on it.
Please.
Just filth. Civilization is sterilization, I used to say to them, but of course they didn't understand. How could they? And in the end, I suppose I got used to it. Anyway, how can you keep things clean when there isn't hot water laid on? And look at these clothes. This beastly wool isn't like acetate. It lasts and lasts. And you're supposed to mend it if it gets torn. But I'm a beater. I worked in the fertilizing room. Nobody ever taught me anything like that. Throw them away and buy new. The more stitches, the less riches. Isn't that right?
Of course it is.
Mending's antisocial. But it's all different here. It's like living with lunatics. For instance, take the way they have one another here. Mad, I tell you, absolutely mad. Everybody belongs to everyone else, don't they? Don't they?
Yes, yes. Everyone belongs to everyone else.
Well, not here, they don't.
It's as though we were living on different planets in different centuries. A mother and all this dirt and gods and old age and disease. It's almost inconceivable. I shall never understand unless you explain.
Explain what?
Everything. From the beginning. As far back as you can remember.
As far back as I can remember. I remember a night. It was very hot. We'd eaten a lot of tortillas and sweet corn. My mother said, "Come and lie down, baby." We lay down together in the big bed. I said, "Sing," and Linda sang. After a while, her voice got fainter and fainter. Suddenly, there was a loud noise, and I awoke. A man was standing by the bed. Enormous. Frightening. He was saying something to Linda, and Linda was laughing. His hair was like 2 black ropes, and round his arm was a lovely silver bracelet with blue stones in it. Linda said to the man, "Not with John here."
Nobody's supposed to belong to more than one person here. And if you have people in the ordinary way, the others think you're wicked and antisocial. They hate and despise you. Once a lot of women came and made a scene because their men came to see me. Well, why not?
Why not, indeed?
And then they rushed at me.
Oh, no.
It was too awful. I can't tell you about it.
Oh, Linda, please.
They're so hateful, the women here. Mad and cruel. And of course they know nothing about Malthusian drill or bottles or decanting or anything of that sort. So they're having children all the time, like dogs.
That's revolting.
After that, Pope used to come often. He had a big gourd full of stuff called mescal, but Linda said it ought to have been called soma, only it made you feel ill afterwards. I hated Pope. I hated them all the men who came to see Linda. The happiest times were when she told me about the other place, about the lovely music that comes out of a box, and the delicious things to eat and drink, and the pictures you can hear and feel and smell as well as see, and the happiness there every day.
Oh, yes, every day.
Sometimes, when we children were tired with too much playing, one of the old men of the Pueblo would talk to us of the great transformer of the world, and the long fight between left hand and right hand, between wet and dry, of Awanawilona who made a great fog by thinking in the night, of Earth Mother and Sky Father, of Jesus and Pukong, of the Black Stone at Laguna, and the Great Eagle, and Our Lady of Acoma. Then Linda taught me to read. I learned quickly and easily. One day, it must have been soon after my 12th birthday, I came home and found a book I'd never seen before lying on the floor in the bedroom. I picked it up and looked at the title page. The book was called The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. I opened the book at random. Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
He tried to kill poor Wahusiwa once. Or was it Pope? Just because I used to have them sometimes. Because I never could make him understand that was what civilized people ought to do. Being mad's infectious, I believe. And John seems to have caught it from the Indians. Of course he was with them a lot, even though they were beastly to him and wouldn't let him do all the things the other boys did.
Which was a good thing, I should think.
Well, it made it easier for me to condition him a little, though you've no idea how difficult that is. So much one doesn't know. Wasn't my business to know. I mean, when a child asks you how a helicopter works, or who made the world, well, what are you to answer if you're a beater and have always worked in the fertilizing room? What are you to answer?
I hated Pope more and more. A man can smile and be a villain. Remorseless, treacherous, lecturous, kindless villain.
What do those words mean exactly?
I only half knew. Those words, that strange, strange story, they gave me a reason for hating Pope. They made my hatred more real. They even made Pope himself more real. One day, when I came in from playing, the door of the inner room was open, and I saw them lying together on the bed. Pope was almost black beside her, and one of the plaits of his long hair lay across her throat like a black snake trying to strangle her. I felt empty and cold and sick. And those words repeated and repeated themselves in my head. Remorseless, treacherous, lecturous. And suddenly there were more words. When he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed. When he is drunk, asleep. The knife for the meat was lying on the floor near the fireplace. I picked it up. When he is drunk, asleep, drunk, asleep. I ran across the room and stabbed. Oh, the blood! And stabbed again. And Linda was crying, "Look at the blood! Look at the blood!" There were 2 cuts on Poppy's shoulder. And he was laughing. Poppy was laughing.
When he was 16, there